that is the end of Resident Evil 4. Boy, did they do a great job. Like, a bunch of the set pieces that I remember, this is the only one that I actually have any sort of previous experience with. A bunch of the set pieces that I could think of in Resident Evil 4, the original, came out really well in this one. And I personally don't think... Oh yeah, this was about twice or double the time. I think the longest one was probably about 9 hours. This was closer to 18 to 20. But yeah, all the set pieces that they had, I think, felt very good. And I can't think of a piece that they would have, or that they forgot. Like, they even kept in the throne, where you sit on the throne. And I was like, that is awesome that they kept something small like that. Everything about it was quite fun. The only complaint that I have is the fact that they are trying to make you create or like, make ammo, craft ammo. So that ends up really filling up your case. So it ends up being a situation where you either run into, like, I kept going for the biggest cases, and I figured it was going to be the best for me to be able to do that. Did I end up selling all those rubies? No. I don't have any of the really big items though. But yeah. So yeah, it just ended up being that there was a lot of finally doing the right thing. Yeah. Yeah, when you hear billions of casualties, that's gotta, no matter how much of an evil person you are, that's gotta turn you a little bit. But yeah, like, it just always felt like I didn't have enough space, which I think is kind of part of the point. Is you need to, it's like managing your space in the other games, except it's just done in a different way. Like, things have shapes in here. But yeah, it was just like going into the crafting idea. I understand that they've been doing that for the last few games. And they did crafting of ammo in, was it the original RE3? But it's, yeah, without having the ability to drop some of that stuff off into the item box, aka the typewriter. But I'm also sitting here trying to remember if the original game had an item box at all. I personally don't think it did. So maybe that was the whole point. But anyway, yeah, I think this was really fucking good. Weirdly enough, of all the games that I've played now, 4 obviously had, the original 4 had the biggest one because it was kind of the only one that I had played. But now, as I'm thinking about it, RE2 Remake has the top spot. I think RE3 is really good. RE3 Remake. This is also coming from somebody who hasn't played RE3, the original. But this one's also really good. Like, all of the remakes to me have done really fucking well. They are all really fun to play. This one, I could say, is probably third out of the 4, actually 5 that I've played. RE1 I think would have been a lot better in my mind had it not stuck to, like, the problem with RE3 or RE1 remaster is it's the tank controls, it is the camera, it is the stuff that makes our Resident Evil, admittedly. It's just, I don't have the nostalgia for that. So having them be these over-the-shoulder third person, they feel really good like that. Because that's really the one that Resident Evil 4 was a third-person shooter. Like, it was exactly how we looked at it, how we played it here. So it isn't something that I was super worried about. But then going back and last year playing RE1 with the fixed camera angles, the tank controls, the original Resident Evil gameplay, it was okay. Now I know I've heard some people where the RE1 remake or the remaster is their favorite of all the remakes. And again, not saying anything bad about that. It's just I don't have the nostalgia for it. So the controls are a little frustrating. And that's fine. That's fine. But with this, like I said, RE2 remake is the best for me. RE3 remake and RE4 remake are very close, and they're both bouncing between second and third in my head for different reasons. One, I think the story of this one's way better. It is longer, obviously, so they have the ability to tell certain parts. I think that I like RE3 better because it's still actually zombies, whereas these are just parasitic people with parasites in them. And that was even a thought of mine when I played the original RE4, was like, these aren't zombies. They're just villagers that have a parasite in them. The Las Plagas. But after playing RE2 and RE3, even RE1, having everything be pretty much open to you and you can go around everywhere, backtrack, do whatever. It's a open world. Having things be cut off gets frustrating. So the fact that just because I hit the elevator in the clock tower too quickly, even then I was searching around to try and get there. I was like, oh, okay, like we're gonna get to the top and we're gonna like climb down. The fact that I hit the elevator and there was no way back is extremely frustrating. And from what I've seen when I looked up at the time, I'm not the only one who complained about that. So I think, based on my feelings right now, I like, in order, RE2 remake, RE3 remake, RE4 remake, RE4 original, and RE1 remaster. Because those have been the ones that I played. So